The previous video that I did in this series covered a command handler called Lightbulb, which essentially allows Hikari bots to more effectively manage message and slash commands. In this video we're going to be looking at the other major alternative, or the other major command handler I should say, rather than alternative, Tanjun. Now, Tanjun does work fairly differently from Lightbulb. It's less difficult to apply, more click. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of that, but it's a CLI application builder, essentially sort of like ArgPass. But it just uses decorators a lot of the time, and this is what Tanjun does to pretty much do everything. I suppose in a way that is a bit more like difficult to apply in a sense, but the way that you actually create a bot is very, very different to both Lightbulb and Discord.py. Of course, if you find the video helpful at any point, then consider liking it, telling me know, and subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos in the series. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So before we can get into the meat of things, we need to do a little bit of setup. So we need to install everything, we need to be able to run the bot, and we need to get the bot token from the Discord developer portal. So installing stuff, we need to do is pip install, whoops, if I can spell install, I always do. I might even set up an alias, I was misspelling that much. And then you have Hikari, apparently I just can't spell anything at all anymore. And then UV loop, again, can't spell it, but only on Windows. We'll come back to that in a second. So Hikari is just, the main library that everything works on. You can install just the base library like this, or you can install one with extra speed up libraries like this. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this works on Windows. I've never actually tested it. And I don't remember if the README for Hikari mentions any sort of incompatibilities. But essentially this just installs a few different extra libraries to make things run a bit quicker. Then you have Hikari Tanjun, which is the command handler. It's currently not in a stable release at the moment, or at least version 2 isn't in a stable release. We may need to reinstall it with the -- pre-flag just to make sure if this installs like 1.x. This is the command handler essentially. And then a UV loop is it's sort of like a faster async IO loop. So it basically just makes things, again, it's the same sort of thing as the speed ups, makes things run just that little bit faster, but it only works on Linux/Mac OS. So, you can't install it in Windows, unfortunately. We're going to install all of this, and okay, we've got 2.1.1 Alpha 1, that's fine. So yeah, as far as I can tell, this isn't a stable release of Tanjun at the moment, but it's pretty close to being a stable one, so meh. Doesn't matter. The series isn't actually going to use Tanjun. I should point that out now. If you're looking to, follow the series in the future, I'd recommend, if you haven't seen it already, I did one for Lightbulb. And I'll be using that one in the series. This is just for people, looking to experiment to see which is better, Lightbulb or Tanjun, or more which they prefer of the two, because there isn't necessarily one that's better or not. I would say, nowadays they're about even in terms of what they can do. One's a bit easier, one's a little bit nicer, just more awkward. It just kind of works out overall. So now we actually need to get our token from the developer portal. So we can come back here, and then we go into the bot that we made in the previous video that I did, not the Lightbulb one, the one that I did before. We actually created the bot on the portal, and then we come to bot, and then we hit this copy button. And then we create a new folder called secrets, and then we create a new file called token, and inside this token we paste our token. Now this token is going to be regenerated before this video goes out. If your token gets into the hands of the wrong people, they can do whatever they like with the bot. This is essentially your bot's password. Keep it safe, keep it secure. If you do need to regenerate it, the regenerate button is right here, just next to the copy button. And I'll be doing that before this video goes out, so people can't commandeer this test bot of mine, because that would be really bad. So we're just going to save that. Don't worry about the new line, we will handle that. If you don't have a new line, also don't worry, it will be handled for you, as you will see. So we're just going to create a new folder. We're going to call it testbot, but you would kind of call it whatever your bot's name is. So if you wanted to call it Henry, then you would call it Henry. Don't know why I have the name Henry in my head, but there you are. And then we're going to create 2 files in here. So the first one is going to be called init.py, and that is 2 underscores, not 1, either side of the init, and then the same for main, same underscore rules and everything. So if we head back to the init real quick, this is just a really good place to put the version and all that. And then you want to put like a guild ID in here, even if it's a single server, or sorry, even if it's a multi-server bot. You will want to put your guild ID in here, or like a test guild ID in there. And I'm not going to go over why that is in this video because it's not important in this video. It's important for slash commands, but we're not doing slash commands in this video. And then we're also going to have a standard out channel ID, which is conveniently the channel we're on. As you can see, this is the light bulb one going off there. So we're just going to use this channel ID to output a message on when the bot has started up. But we'll cross one bridge at a time. So now we can actually start creating the bot itself. So we're going to import OS. We're going to from pathlib import path. We're going to import Hikari and then import Tanjun. It's not Hikari Tanjun, it's just Tanjun. That is what the namespace is. So now we need to load our token up. So with open secret / token, that / at the start is optional. I just like doing it. As F, and then we have underscore token. It doesn't need to be underscore, it just hides it a little bit more, I suppose. It probably doesn't make much of a difference. Whatever. And then this needs to be strip. So this will take any new line characters off the end of our token. So regardless of whether we have a new line character or not, it'll be perfectly fine. Now we actually need to create our bot. Now Tanjun works very differently to Lightbulb or Discord.py in the sense that you actually create just a normal gateway bot from Hikari. So the actual and we pass in our intents. I'll finish that sentence I was going to say in a second. I just want to actually get all the definitions done here. So these intents, we gave our bot all the intents in the developer portal. If you need different intents, I'd recommend checking the docs because I'm not 100% sure how it works in terms of like adding multiple intents or whatever. I believe it uses that operator, but I don't know 100% for sure. So just double check the docs for that. So the sentence that I did start before I moved on to intents was talking about how Lightbulb does it compared to how Tanjun does it. So Lightbulb subclasses the gateway bot and creates its own bot. But Tanjun, you create a separate client, which is tanjun.client.from gateway bot, and you pass the bot in, and then from there, your client is now attached to the bot itself, or you have a client that's subclassed. I'm not entirely sure how it works in the back end. I just know that just kind of works. So yeah, and then you can set global commands equals, and then we actually need to do some other imports actually. So from testbot, we need to import our guild ID and our standard channel out ID. And then we have set global commands equals guild ID. Now this is related to the slash commands thing, so again, I'm not going to be talking about this properly in this video, but in a future supplementary video, and especially the series, I'll go over that a bit more. Well, it's the same sort of deal with Lightbulb in that respect, so yeah. And then from there, you can load any modules, because they're called modules. And then you could do so star path. And then you'd have your you'd have the directory to the module, so it's going to be testbot.modules, and you do .glob and then star.py. So basically what this will do is say you had a folder called modules here. It would scan that directory and look for any file that had a .py extension, and it would load the module from that. So it basically just loads a load of modules at once. And then from there, you can do if name double equals main, if os.name does not equal nt. So this is kind of, related to the whole UV loop not working on Windows. It is a lot nicer doing it like this, even if you are, and then you have the UV loop installed and you don't need to touch UV loop after that. This just makes it work, basically. It is better to have all this here, rather than to not. Even if you are developing locally on Windows, it's better to have this here, because if you're hosting the bot later down the line, you are more than likely going to be hosting on a Linux server, which can utilize UV loop. And especially you would want it to utilize UV loop if it's a lot of servers. Any speed up you can get is worth it. So that's why we have this check here, so you can just swap out really. It's also good for contributions too. If someone's contributed on Windows and they can actually make it work. And you just have bot.run, and then when actually running the bot, you can do python-m testbot and it'll work. While we're here, because I forgot to mention this in the Lightbot video, I had to go back and explain it, there are optimization flags as well. So this is something you can do in any Python application. So you can have dash and then capital O, we can have 2. So this is single level optimization, this is double level optimization. Double level optimization removes doc strings from the code. So if you're reliant on doc strings for help text, for example, you don't want this. But you can just have the single one. But having these just make... Well, I mean, the clue's in the name. It's an optimization, really, that it's doing. So it just makes it a little bit faster. It's a bit nicer. Any speed increase you can get and all that. So, yeah. Now we run the bot like that. And we're getting... Okay, so apparently set global commands is deprecated. And we want to do declare global commands instead. That's fine. But now that we've got that out of the way, you can see... that it's already set this one time, but it did set them before. You have this Hikari bot saying we can start a session if you have the number of guilds and everything, and we have the number of time it took to start up. If we look in our Discord, we can see that the test bot is online. Hey. So we can close it down using Control-C. And I'm just going to quickly go over how to react to certain events. So say we wanted to send a message when the bot started up. So you can come down here and you could do @bot.listen and then Hikari.started event and then async def on started. So this is essentially the functional equivalent of Discord.py is on ready for those of you coming from Discord.py. And we can say channel equals await bot.fetch, no, it'd be bot.rest, sorry, .fetch channel, and then standard out channel ID, and then await channel.send hello. And we'll actually separate it from the other messages that are already in there, and we'll say hello from Tanjun. Whee. Oops, that's not what I want to do at all. We run that. And as you can see, it's saying hello from Tanjun. So we have the new message. We've reacted to the event and it's sent a message into the channel. So yeah, that's just a basic rundown of how to get a bot started in Tanjun. Now you have both the Lightbulb and the Tanjun bots, the videos on YouTube. So you can now kind of compare the two and see which one you might prefer, at least from a getting started standpoint. There will be stuff on extensions and modules coming at some point, hopefully next week, maybe. We'll have to see about that. But yeah, if you do have any questions about anything you've seen in this video, then don't be afraid to leave a comment below, or you can join the Discord server using the link in the description. While I'm at it, I'd like to thank my amazing patrons on screen now. £1 a month and you can be on that screen too. And I'll see you at some point in the future where we talk about, more bot stuff, presumably. So I'll see you for that.